Okay. Oh, I hear people in the car. All right, guys. So I want to welcome you all to this very special call. This is, okay, let me just give the background as to how this came about. So I do my best thinking in the shower. I tell my team this all the time. That's probably why I take the longest showers possible. I'm like, So we have a handful of coaches on our team this year that are all like, they want to go for a league. They have fire in their bellies. They are so pumped up. They're not afraid to fail. They are working harder than ever. And, you know, for Dave and I coming out of a very difficult year with our business, I said, you know, how can I help these coaches even better, you know, get excited and motivated and inspired, you know, just more than whatever I can offer them. And I always think about coming off of things like leadership and, you know, our trips and how fired up we all are because we get to talk to each other and getting to be surrounded by people like Audrey and Tara, and it always makes me a better coach. And I realize like our teams don't get that all the time, right? Like we get leadership, which is amazing, and I think it elevates you. So I thought, how cool would it be if I can get some of my favorite girls that I look at as really amazing coaches. They run their businesses with integrity and heart. If I can get them to kind of share some of their wisdom because they've been so successful with some of our team and of course some of their team, you know, I thought that would be really cool. So thank you, girls. That was kind of how this coffee talk all came together. And I messaged Tara, Audrey, and Megan, and I don't think they knew each other, right? You guys didn't know each other? No. Okay. So I'll just give a quick brief background as to how like we all connected. But so basically, Tara, I don't remember how I met you, but I remember messaging you. She was a teacher who left her job to be a full-time Beachbody coach. And I remember someone telling me about her, and I followed her because I was a teacher and I wanted to leave my job. And I remember messaging Tara. I'm like, you don't know me, but I need some advice. I need help. And you were just amazing. You gave me amazing advice. And you're like, it's scary, but just freaking do it. And I think that's kind of how our relationship started. And from there, you know, we've had a really amazing relationship. Dave is close with TJ. We've hung out with Tara at tons of events, and she's just an amazing mom to 3 kids, just like us. And I just have always felt that connection with her. And she's someone I look up to, and she's amazing. And I think you're always funny, Tara. Every time I message you, you're like, dude, I don't know. I'm a hot mess. And I'm like, dude, you're elite, like 15-star. How much of a hot mess can you be?
A big one.
So that's kind of how I got connected with Tara, and she's just amazing. And then Audrey, we were lucky enough to be in the Quarter Force test group together last year. And I think we kind of connected right away, Audrey, right? And
definitely.
We helped each other out, and we really lifted each other up. And then on top of that, our market council combined with the New York City Market Council, because Audrey's part of Sori Almonte's team. And we collaborated when Joel and Jericho came to New York City, and we've had Audrey and her husband Alex over for dinner, and just good, solid people. Audrey's a badass, hard-ass worker. She still runs her family's business too, right, Audrey? You're still doing that?
Yep.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, you know, she's pretty successful for still having another business on the side. So I always look up to Audrey and her beautiful red lipstick. And then Megan. So Megan and I, there's some girls on this call that are going to the NLC in February, and that is where Megan and I got to meet on the tour of headquarters, right, Megan? We were in the same group, and we just started chatting, and hi. And we just hit it off from there, and we have been in touch ever since, like collaborating. We ran a group together over the summer. I feel like Megan and I are very similar in a lot of ways. She's another busy mom, just building an amazing business, one of the sweetest people I know. So I thought these 3 girls would be amazing to kind of bring together and just share their knowledge. We can ask them some questions, pick their brains. And the cool thing about them is they're just down-to-earth, busy moms, like most of us. And that's what I like about it. So I'm just going to let you guys quickly tell a little bit about yourselves and how you got into Beachbody, how long you've been a coach, just so everyone gets a little background as to who you are. And then we can just jump in with some questions if that's okay, ladies. Yeah? All right.
Sure.
Audrey, you want to start?
Sure. Well, thank you so much for having me here. It's really an honor to be here with you guys. So basically, I became a coach 5 years ago. At first, I was a challenger. I bought the Chalene Extreme Challenge Pack after thinking about going back to Gold's Gym, but I knew that I would just be on the treadmill, not knowing what to do. And I had 2 boys, 2 and under, 2 C-sections back to back. And I needed to do something because I just wasn't happy with myself. I didn't want my husband to look at me naked. I just didn't even want to look in the mirror anymore. So I decided to join. I jumped right in. First week, I was down 5 pounds, and I was sharing that with everybody. I was like, look at my jeans. They're loose, like all over Facebook. And everybody kept asking me, well, what are you doing? What are you doing? And I kept sending them to my coach. And I would see one by one, even some of my cousins signing up, even as coaches with my coach. And I was just like, there's something wrong. And, at that time, my husband and I were living paycheck to paycheck. And I kept praying to God for an opportunity that was going to help me make extra money. But I couldn't even take a shower without my kids there with me. So how was I going to go get another job or do something else? And then when the first month when I ran out of my first bag of Shakeology, it was time to get another bag. I was like, I can't let this go. I want to stay on it, but I don't know if I could afford it. So my coach was like, well, you can become a coach and get the discount. And I said to myself, you know what? Like, it scared me. It really scared me. But I thought, if, I keep asking God for this chance, maybe this is it. And you know what? Maybe it's going to hold me accountable to sticking to my goals. So I jumped right in. And the week that I signed up as a coach, my husband lost his job. And then paycheck to paycheck became just me. And I had no choice but to go full out because I loved this, because I believed in this. And I remember the day that I found out that my husband lost his job, I was doing Chalene Extreme at the time. I came home and I'm like, okay, Audrey, you can be a victim. You can be upset about this. You can cry, or you can go home, press play, and get empowered and do something about it because of this opportunity that you now have on your lap. And that's what I did. And I heard about Saudi. Saudi's my upline, and she had just left the Department of Education to do this Beachbody thing full time. And I hadn't met her yet, but I was like, well, if that lady can do it, like, I can certainly do it. And the rest is history. 5 years later, and this is the best thing, one of the best things that's ever happened to me. And I'm just so blessed to be able to have a team of women that believe in this vision and what we do for other people.
I love that. I absolutely love it. I got tears in my eyes. I didn't realize Alex lost his job when you signed up as a coach.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's the way God works.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's necessity at its finest. That's awesome. Thanks, Audrey. Tara, you want to share with us your story?
Sure. Wow, that was awesome. I'm excited to be here. I have like a similar God open doors for me to be here story. I was a teacher. I had 3 kids, 5 and under. So it was crazy town. My husband was looking for extra work because he was also a teacher. And teacher's salary isn't that fantastic. Plus I took a lot of time off. And it wasn't paid for when I had the kids, So he was looking for a job and applying everywhere, Home Depot, and like things that he should have gotten over the summer, but no one was calling us back. And we were praying on it, and God told us to wait. And then I found my upline coach on YouTube by just like Googling, because I heard about this coaching thing through a friend that was kind of in a challenge group. It was kind of like a nonchalant thing. She was telling me about it. And I found my coach, Mindy Wender, and I'm like, wow, she's totally normal, sitting there in her kitchen, talking about this coaching thing. She's not a fitness professional. And I was using P90X throughout my pregnancies, but kind of just doing my own thing. And I'm like, wow, if I can just help some people like that I work with, in the school, feel better about themselves, that would be really cool. So I jumped in like 3 weeks before, it was summertime, 3 weeks before we were ready to get back to school. My husband was like, you can't do this. This is crazy. Like, you have enough on your plate. And, but I said, let's just give it a year. Let's see what happens. And I just jumped in, started a challenge group, didn't know what the heck I was doing because I was never in one before. But I just said, hey, let's try to do this together. I don't know any more than you guys know. and I just felt like the community part of it, people needed that. Moms needed that. Moms needed other women that were feeling the same way they were feeling, and to talk to someone that wasn't their husband or whatever, And I remember after the first month, I'm like, I could do this the rest of my life. And I just went all in and worked like a crazy person because I didn't see what this could do. I just thought it was really cool. Like I wasn't so concerned about, okay, hitting diamond is hard. Like I never thought about it being hard. I just said, okay, what's my next step? What's my next step? Let's fill in the blanks. Let's do the work to get to the next step. And I just kept doing it and doing it and doing more. And then in March came and I was like, wow, I could maybe leave my job. And my husband was like, I don't know. But, I'm like, listen, babe, like, why not? The kids are only little once, we had that conversation. And I ended up leaving after a year and it was the best decision. We weren't financially ready, but I knew if I can be home with my kids, because that was what I wanted to do. I wanted to experience them as they were little, not when they're in elementary school. And like, I didn't want to wait. So that's why I worked so hard. And, I did, I left and it was the best thing I could ever have done. And it's been amazing ever since. Like, yes, in a business you have these, but like that's in every business. Mm-hmm. It's the problem is we're not familiar with that because a lot of us weren't business owners before this business. But know that you're going to have those hills and valleys. But this door is open for you for a reason. And you could either grab hold of it and run, or you can say, maybe I'm not cut out for this, but you know what? You're here for a reason. God's placed you here for a reason. So you might as well say, hey, God knows better than I know. That's what I always say. How can I not take this opportunity and run when it's placed in my lap from him and he knows me best, right?
Yeah. I love it. Oh my God, I love it. And just Tara, Melanie Yoakum is one of the coaches on our team. She just left her teaching job back at the end of last year to be home with her two littles.
I love it. That's amazing.
She's rocking it. So we're so proud of her. Oh, that's awesome, Tara. Thank you for sharing that. And we're going to move on to Megan.
All right. Thanks, Kristen, for having me. I think from when I first started, my biggest takeaway was always the stories. Like I could sit and listen to these coach success stories forever because like I'm so different from you guys, but so similar in so many ways. And for me, that was always that, like, I can do this too. Like there was never a doubt from the time I started that when I heard these coaches who were so different than me, but doing amazing things with this, I was like, oh my God, like I can do what she's doing. And I have made it a point from day one to do whatever she is doing, whoever I'm watching around me. And I feel like that's been a huge part of my success. But a little bit about me. I am a mom of two. I have a little girl, Aubrey, who is now 6, and Colton, who is now 4. But when I started coaching almost 4 years ago, I was trying to fight off a whopping 3 pounds of post-baby weight. And that was my transformation. So if you don't think that you need some crazy transformation, that's all that I had. But I was a former CPA. So I spent 6 years in public accounting, have a CPA license. I arguably had a very successful career. And I missed the first 2 years. See, and I cry. You would think after 4 years I wouldn't cry anymore, but I do because I missed the first 2 years of my daughter's life. So when I became pregnant with my second, I told my husband, I was like, I can't go back to work. So we had actually built a house 2 years before that. And I was like, I'm going to be a working mom. Like, it's all I ever wanted to do. And now we had this house that was gorgeous. We had all the things, and I was like, I don't want to do that job anymore. So we, me being the accountant, I made it all work. We fixed all these things, and we switched cars around, and I drove my husband's car, and he drove a work car, and I clipped every coupon under the sun to be able to be home. And I was. My kids didn't sleep. I literally lived off of M&Ms and Swedish Fish and, like packages of oatmeal that I thought I was trying to be healthy with. And I was just trying to survive mom life. And I watched my coach, who was a former, a friend of mine from college. And I'm like, every night I'd sit on my couch on Facebook and I'm like, look at her. Like, she's so fit. she's so happy. She's got 2 kids. And then I'm like, and I got 2 kids. And like, maybe I can do this, but no, I can't do this. And I don't want to take a selfie. And I went through all the things that probably a lot of you have gone through. But eventually I got to the tipping point where I was like, you know what? What do I have to lose? So I joined a challenge group. She told me to take pictures, and I said, no, thank you. And then she said, you have to take pictures. So I said, fine. So I took the pictures, I sent them to her, and she's like, here's the group. And I'm like, I don't want in a group. She's like, well, just join the group. And she put me in anyways. And I got it. Like, I realized then what accountability was all about. I had tried other programs. We had P90X, we had Insanity, we had T25. I didn't believe in Shakeology. I had already canceled my HD before the group ever started. Like, I was that challenger. But I, as a stay-at-home mom surviving with like 3 hours of interrupted sleep and no interaction with adults, that challenge group gave me everything that I was missing. I got really great 21-day fixed results. My pictures are actually only 16 days because I was leaving for vacation and took them early. But people were amazed at the 3 pounds that I lost in those 21 days of my pictures. And all I did is I sent them to people, like my friends and family, because I was just proud. Like, I actually did something. And my coach knew I canceled my Shakeology, and she was like, well, you can get a discount. And I was like, I need a discount. Like, we're floating mortgage checks right now to be able to pay all our bills. So I actually really need this. And then when I learned that I could actually sign people up under me and make an income from it, I was pretty amazed by that. And that's where it started. I started with when I went diamond, it was my mom, my mother-in-law, my sister-in-law, my sister, my husband, and I'm missing a family member, because there were 6 people that were signed up family members of me when I went diamond, and I just figured it out. Like, it's kind of like Tara. I didn't look at it like this is hard. I just looked at it like that they tell me to do it, then I'm just going to go and do it. And they said, go to Summit. And there I was like, vacation. Like, I haven't gone anywhere or done anything for myself. And I had no clothes to go. I was like, what am I going to do here? And I went to Summit, and that was my turning point. Like, I went there and I was like, okay, like, this is legit. I had a business mindset from my background, and I'm like, I can make this work, and haven't stopped since.
I love it. I love it. So, common theme for all 3 of them. They just never doubted themselves. They're like, I can do this. I got this. Just tell me what to do. I'm in. And I think that's the mentality. I think that what holds us back more times than not is the doubt, is the fear, is the what ifs. It's just a matter of freaking do it and don't stop. And if you fail, pick yourself up and keep going. And I think that that's the mentality. That's the beauty of this business. Like Tara said, it is the ups and downs. The ups are really, really high and the lows are really, really low. But the people that stop never find their true potential. And these 3 ladies are an example of that. You know, they haven't stopped. They went all in, no doubts. I got this. I can do it. Let's go. That's it. That's what I see as the 3 main themes. So thank you, ladies, so much for sharing your background. I, like you, Megan, too, I love to hear the stories. I love to hear everybody's mindset and mentality going through the process. And I love to hear when people say, you know, I wasn't on Shakeology, or I was the worst challenger. Like when we went to DC a few weeks ago, Moira in the top 5 was the worst challenger. She said she didn't post in the group at all. And I look at all my challengers that don't post sometimes. I'm like, maybe you're like Moira. I don't know. You could be, you know, like you don't know. You try to like be hopeful and you're like, okay. All right. So let's just jump into some questions. And anybody can kind of feel them. You can all 3 of them feel them if you feel like it's something addressed more to you, or if anybody has a specific question for either Tara, Audrey, or Megan, you can just call it out. So why don't you just unmute yourself if you have a question, or maybe just raise your hand. How about raise your hand and I'll call on you, because we're teachers here, right? All right, I see Melanie first, so I'm going to unmute Mel. Oh, are you doing it? Okay, there you go. You're good.
Okay. Hi. Okay, so first of all, I just want to say thank you so much for taking time out of your day to share with us, and I really appreciate your light and your love and your inspiration. So my question is, you know, I'm just now, I feel like I'm just now starting to hit that stride where my belief is rock solid. I've got a beautiful system that my coach and I have created for the people that we're attracting who actually want to make a business of this. And so I want to up my game on how I onboard coaches. So what is, I mean, I know you send the email and there's all of that, but is there something extra special that you do to onboard coaches when you have a coach especially who tells you, yes, I want this, I want to, you know, I want to be a business builder?
I'll say something to that. You've read Grow Pro by Eric Worre, right?
What's that?
GoPro by Eric Worre.
I have not.
I have that book. It's so good. Because it's the skills that we all need in order to take our business to the next level. You know, when I do my GSR call, it's all about their why and their story. Like we said, we're attracted to stories. So I make sure that that comes across and that I paint the vision of what this business could do for them. And then I say to them what Eric Worre says. He says in the book to say to your new coach, your new distributor, if you create success in this business, you're the one that creates that success, not me. If you fail at this business, you're the one that creates that failure, not me. Because we do have a system, and Beachbody provides a system now. Like Kim has done such a great job with the first 30 and everything. Like I wish I had that when I signed up as a coach. So everything is in place. It's a matter of that person plugging in. And I make that so clear to them. I tell them we have the National Wake Up Call Monday mornings, be on it. We have our team calls every Tuesday night, be on it. So I watch them. So when they first sign up the first 30 days, I try to hold their hand, but I watch to see what they do. If they do get on the calls, if they can't, they'll usually tell me, oh, my kid is sick, I couldn't get on. And I'm like, here's the recording. Let me know what you got out of that. You give them assignments to see if they're coming back and getting them done. Because even when I signed up, I didn't know what I was doing, but whatever my coach told me to do, I would do it because I wanted this. And I think that one of the things that holds us back the most is when we see more potential in our coaches than they see them themselves. My second year as a coach, I had like over 300 elite points. And I was frustrated because none of my coaches were working. So frustrated. And I remember I met with somebody at Beachbody Corporate. And if I ever thought about quitting the business, it probably would have been that second year. Because I'm like, I can't get anyone to follow me. I'm never going to be successful. And he said to me, you know what, Audrey? You have to let the cream rise to the top. If you have over 300 elite points, keep on getting over 300 elite points. You make sure that you show up to your business every single day, because those people that are meant to be leaders and meant to follow you will. So if you have that great system that you're confident in and you lead by example, the cream will rise to the top. And then that way you guard your heart, because the number one way to fail in this business is when you let other people drag you down because they're not doing what you expect them to do.
Amen. I agree with what she said 100%. Audrey has it down, guys. That's the thing, the GSR call. And here's the thing, like, I know Kristen said that we all have this big belief when we started. The only reason why I started to believe is because I took action. Okay. So when we provide our new coaches with this system of being a challenger first, sharing your results, like that's my number one goal, is I need you to show up in your own journey so you have something to share. And so you can expect your challengers to show up too. How can you expect your challengers to show up if you're not showing up? So number one, challenge group. They have to be in there. They have to be checking in the app, whatever system you have. And new coach training, however you run it. Now, here's the thing. I've been a coach for 4.5 years. I revamped my new coach training over and over and over because I'm like, oh, it's not working, or this is not working, or maybe I have to do this, or maybe, no. You have to just keep it simple. They need to just share their showing up every day. Yes, social media has changed, so we're now using Instagram stories instead of Facebook so much. There's a lot of things that we can be doing to change the way we share, but it is the same. The concept is the same. And I do hold hands in the beginning. I do also talk about, how important their story is and how to share it on social media. That's the big thing. Stories sell 100%. Whether you're doing it behind the scenes, you should be doing it behind the scenes and on your social media. And that's what they start with, their own journey, sharing it with the people that they love. I love Eric Worre as well. GoPro taught me so much in the beginning because I didn't know how to be a network marketer because that wasn't me. I just knew how to work out. That was pretty much it. Because I'm like, I didn't even like to talk to people back then. And now I love it. So like anyone can do this. And I do think you know, I just watched something, and I'd love to share it with you guys once I find it, by Tony Robbins. And he talked about like 10%, and how, you know, you could think like, you know, I have to add all these coaches every month, or I have to bring in, you know, whatever. It isn't about that. You know, it's working one-on-one with people. And those people that really want this and really start taking action, those are the people that you work with. Not the people that you're dragging along, that it's been 2 years and you're still, you know what I'm saying? Because they will suck the life out of you. Mm-hmm. They will. And then you'll get negative, and, you know, you don't need that. Yes, you can love them where they're at. Yes, you can love them as a friend. But if they're still trying to, you know, pull when they're not even taking action, then, you know, you have to move on.
Yeah, I'll echo those ladies. And I'll also say I'm very big on I'll walk with you. If you want to run, I'll with you, but I'm not slowing down. Like, you cannot control what other people do. And I have wasted a lot of time trying to get people to do what I needed them to do for my own business, and it gets you nowhere fast, and it's extremely frustrating because you can't control it. Nobody told me to hit Success Club. I did it because I knew for my business I needed to hit Success Club every month. Like, nobody told me that I needed to get to this, or I just did it because I watched what everyone did and I took action. And I think some people are going to do it and some won't. Like, some will, some won't. Who cares? What's next? Like, you just have to realize that some people are going to come on and be like, I want this business. And then they're never going to do anything. And then some people are going to be silent and they're going to go rock it. So I just tell people I'm going, and these are my goals. Like, we're going to be a 4-time elite team this year. This is what I'm going to do. And if you want to join my party, there's a spot on it. Let's go. And if you want to just chill there and do whatever you want to do, that's fine. But that's kind of my philosophy there. And then just one other thing with the onboarding coaches, I feel like in the beginning, most people onboard coaches are probably a challenger. So they're likely going through the challenger process. If you get to that point where you are a little further along and people are seeing your business success and coming into you from a business standpoint, highly recommend you make it a requirement that they start in a challenge group. Because I have done it where you don't. Like, I'm like, yeah, come join the coach training. And they're clueless. They're selling stuff on Facebook because they don't have a story to share yet. So I like make that a point, like, you know, especially if I have an ad going on my like page or something, I let them know that, okay, well, my challenge group is here. You have to start here. And we can do the business stuff, but that's kind of like in the background right now. Like, you first have to know what we're doing and how to do it, and then how you can then invite to it. Because until you've done it, you cannot bring people on board with you.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys. Awesome. Thank you guys for answering that. I think Gina had another question. Gina, you had a question? Go ahead. Unmute yourself, G.
Hi, guys. Thank you so much for your time. I love what you're telling us already, and it's getting me fired up. So here's the thing. You guys all said about people who want it, who are committed, who are go-getters. You guys have the business sense. You had the belief in you when you started. How do we, or what was your best strategy to find those people? I'm finding, not to sound conceited by any means, I'm finding people who are attracted to me because they want to one day be like me, but they're not coming to me with that belief in them. And I'm trying, like you said, I'm trying to make them believe in them because I see it. I know that they could crush this. But how do you connect? Has there been something that you found very useful to you to get those people that have that whole, you know, they want the fitness, they want their own business, and they have that belief? Like, where are you getting it? Where are you attracting those?
Kim Carver call for our team. You hear that feedback?
No, I'm okay.
I hear feedback. Okay. Kim Carver did a call for our team once where he said that a lot of people will come to us because they see our team kind of like a country club. You know, they love our energy, they love what we're about, but they're not really going to come and be officially members. They just want to come hang out for a few and be around our light. And we have to really realize when that's all that they need. And like Tara said, meet them where they are. And if people are going to develop the confidence to build this business, it happens in the challenge groups. It happens in their transformation and when they let themselves be changed by personal development, be changed by our products. And that's a journey that they have to discover for themselves. Like, one of the things that I love to say is that I'm a confidence booster. And confidence is just made up of two things. It's made up of acquiring the skill sets that you need in order to do the job that you want to do. And that happens in our challenge groups, and it happens in our team trainings. And two, putting it into practice. You know, if the person on their own doesn't do those two things, then they'll never develop the confidence that they need to go forward and build their business. And like both ladies have said, this is a tough business. And unless they're fully into working on themselves first, they'll never get to that next step. And that's their thing. And we love them where we are. We help them when they need us, but they have to discover that on their own, because we have our own goals to go after. And we can't help the masses if we're like helping the one or two that keep trying to take our energy from us.
Yeah, and I have to say, like, I'm not a big recruiter either. Like, it's not like I bring in, like, I mean, I couldn't handle it. Like, I had 4 coaches last January, and 4 new coaches was about enough for me to pull my hair out. Like, I just can't, I can't handle all those questions all at once. So, like, I don't try to recruit a lot. I try to recruit quality. So I think, like, realize that you don't have to go out there and recruit, you know, all these coaches if you want to be elite. Like, I typically recruit like 2 or 3 coaches a month. But if you do that every month, and if you did that last year, you know what I mean? Like, it builds over time. And I think although my mindset shifted as I went, I was a challenger, don't ask me about the business, I am not interested, to a discount coach, don't ask me about the business, I'm not interested, to a, I will do this for a hobby, but I don't want to do anything else. But I got curious because I watched my coach. So she never, and she'll tell you, like, my coach is Deidre Mangus, she's not married. And she'll tell you, like, she never actually approached me about the business because she just didn't think I was interested. I watched her, and I got to that point where I was like, I want that, I can do that, and I'm going to go get it. So, you know, everyone's personality is different. Somebody else is going to need you to tell them every month that they can rock this before they're going to do it. But you just don't need to attract everyone. You really, I mean, essentially, if you're going 5, if your goal is elite, you need 5. You know, you need 5 people who love it, who you can depend on, who are in it just like you are.
Yeah, I love that. I agree. I'm not a huge recruiter either. And you don't need to be. Micah in the top 10 recruits 5 to, well, probably like around 10 or less a month. And she was in the top 10 last year, most of the year. You know, like, that's the thing, guys, it's quality. And I think in my first year or 2, I was all like going for the numbers, bringing people in, getting them started with a challenge. And then it was like, so I felt like I was always trying to catch up and bring people in and get them started right. And then the other ones were falling off, and I couldn't even wrap my mind around what was happening. So it's so true. Like, you really have to concentrate on the quality and attracting your people. You will attract people that want to be saved, that need someone to love them and uplift them. And, you know, sometimes it's exhausting, but I think the way you brand yourself is so important. A lot of my leaders have come to me. They saw what I was doing. They were like, wow, this sounds so cool. I don't know if I could do it, but I'm going to try. You know, and that's how I was. I don't know if I could really do that, but I'm going to give it my all and try. So I think, you know, I always say to my coaches to find your top 5 things that really make you who you are. And one of mine now is personal growth and personal development. So when you're posting, you're not posting as like to, you know, you're trying to save someone, like, so you're going to attract people that really need a savior, right? Like, honestly, you want to attract people that kind of have that mindset, but don't believe that it's fully in them yet. Like, they really, you could see the potential, but that light isn't fired up. That's the type of person. Maybe it was like, for me, when I first started, I didn't have full confidence in myself, but there was something there, and I wanted more, and I was willing to work for it. So those are the people that you want to attract, right? So if someone's posting about personal growth and like how it's changed them and how it made them even hungrier and stuff like that, that's the stuff that I would be attracted to. So it's almost like I study people a lot. like successful people in their current jobs. Those are people that I want to talk to. You know, people that have that mindset and that just has to be molded and developed into, you know, like look at how much personal growth has probably changed you, right? If it wasn't for personal growth, I think we all would have quit because we're not familiar with like the highs and the lows of business, right? So, I mean, you know, posting about that and talking to people about that and, you know, how you want to be the best you can be. But you'll always have those people and you just have to love them. And I just try to love on them and show them love on their posts and know that, you know what, they're probably never going to take enough action to build that confidence.
You know, last week I went to Tony Robbins' Business Mastery. And on the first day, something that he asked all of us, he's like, I want you guys to think about this. What business are you in? And, you know, right away I'm like, well, I'm a Beachbody coach. And we probably all have that same answer. And he's like, now take this a step further. What business are you really in? Like if you think of Apple, they're not in the computer business. They're in the business of creating cool gadgets that like you love to have in your life, that make your life cool and fun. So I thought to myself, well, what business am I really in? I'm in the business of empowering women through faith, mindset, and fitness. And when you change that perspective and the way you do things through that lens and talking to your team through the lens like of what you're posting on social media, you're going to attract closer to that person that's more like you, that really fits your tribe when you start to think like that.
Says I'm David Atkins, but I'm not really. I have more hair. Yeah, that was such a great point, Audrey. What business are you really in? I think that just opened my mind to a lot of new, just a different way of thinking. That was a really good point. Thank you. Other questions? Lindsay, I see your hand up. Go for it.
Hi, guys. Thank you so much for taking this time. You're amazing. So I have a question about just like the team page and your team culture. I'm kind of finding that I'm struggling with trying to be like and let everybody, let my team know where I'm headed and where I want to go and what my goals are. But I'm struggling with how do I put that out there and still be conscious and accepting and aware of the people on my team that don't want to build a business, because there are those people that are solely in it to work on themselves. And I want to be supportive of that. And I am supportive of that because they're actually the ones that are most consistent every single day. But I also want my team to know like where we want to go. And I just struggle with that balance of that culture on the page. How do you balance that? If that makes sense.
There's some things that I'll do privately and not on a team page. So like, for example, the first year I was going for Elite, I made a YouTube video, like, this is what I see for our team. And this is what, you know, I think I sent it to everybody in like September. So like a whopping, I don't know, 2 months before or 6 weeks before like the qualification had to start. But I let them know, like, I'm sending you this video because I see potential in you to be one of my 5 that takes us to be a first-time Elite team. So that didn't go on my team page. I really thought about who could I see making this happen this year, and I did it privately. I created a group, and I put their pictures in a banner, and I was like, you know, we're the Elite. Like, I made it as if it happened before it ever did. So, like, that was something that I did to include my runners and some people who probably didn't have the belief in themselves, but I saw it. So there were more than 5 people in there. I think there were 7. But I did that. Like, that was something where I didn't put that in my team page because I know, like, some don't even know what Elite is. So, like, if I'm posting that, they're probably like, well, she's doing that for her themselves. Like, that has nothing to do with me. Why do I care? So I just think some things you might just keep separately. Also, you know, I have some discount coaches who are in there, and I always give, like, if somebody tells me, like, I might be interested, might not, then I'll say, well, here's the link for my team page. If you want to join, you're welcome too. Well, if they request to join it, well, then there we go. Like, there's some sort of an interest there. And if they want to watch and see, so be it. Some things that are more strategic, maybe I don't want my discount. Like, what was I did something, it was like an offer, like maybe it was like a Black Friday. I did some sort of offer once where I like set that privately. Like, I created a chat with my working coaches, like say if they had Success Club points on the board that month or the month prior, and I sent that to them and didn't post it in my team page. So I just, some things are separate and some things are in a group.
So you don't add everybody that signs
I don't
up.
add everybody. If somebody says to me, I just want the discount, then I'm not going to add you to my team page, because then they're going to be like, but I told you I just wanted the discount. Why did you add me? But I send them a welcome email. Like, I know you joined just for the discount. If you change your mind in the future, here's some information. And if you want to just check out what my team's up to, here's a link to join my team page. And like, I have like a PDF document. I didn't create it. I got it from somebody. But there's a PDF that kind of runs through the basics of like getting started. There's like 10 checklist thing, and I could send it to Kristen and she could share it with you guys. But I just have this PDF document that I put in my welcome email. So if at any point someone gets curious, because that's what got me, it was pure curiosity of like, well, like I'm up for a challenge. So like you give me this thing, like I'm probably going to check it out and see if I can do it. So I have that link that goes in the welcome email too. So some people were like, okay, cool, thanks. Some people ignore it. Some people request to join the team page. But I did used to add everybody in. I'm like, sweet, discount coach, you're in my team page. But then I feel like it doesn't help them if they don't want to be in there. And I hate when I get added to another whatever page. So I try to like respect that from other people. So I give them a choice.
I do the same. I give a choice as well to my discount coaches. And I do a lot of things privately to, you know, people, like I'll send messages just like Megan was talking about. But I do think that like they're like, my discount coaches are very curious when they start seeing results and then they see a leaderboard pop up. They're like, what does this mean? You know, they ask questions. So I think it's really important to keep on posting in there like you normally would. And also maybe I started this year and it's been great. And it has actually gotten people that were diamond like and took a break from the business for like a good 2 years coming back. And now they want to be part of like my team cup, which is crazy. And coaches that were challengers and maybe try to dabble in it and then stop back in and like, dude, I want to try this out because I'm seeing great results with 80 Day and all of that. It's a community, like once a month, instead of a team call, instead of all, you know, you have all these things, you do like a community team building thing. So we like hang out on a Thursday night with some wine or tea or whatever. And you could do this Saturday mornings, you could do this anytime. And you just have like a team building. You could do a chat, like what we're doing now, like best practices. You can do, I took John Gordon's 1 word goal. It's like using 1 word for your year. And we kind of did an exercise with that. It was really great. People were like, I need to do this. And people that weren't on, that wish they were, they watched the recording. They were really into it, posting about their word in our team page. So it really is like more of like, not just business, but growing as a person in there. You know, and how this business helps you do that, I think is important. And then discount coaches are like, wow, okay, there's more to this than just selling a challenge pack or just, you know, selling Shakeology. So maybe incorporating like a community, or you could even, if you're local, go out together and do something for your community. I mean, there's so much you can do to make it more of a community page rather than just your team page.
I also do the same thing. But when I onboard a coach, whether they don't want to work the business at all, I always say to them, I want to tell you about the business because I don't want you to ever say that I withheld this opportunity from you if anything ever changes in your life. So I give them the option and I'll add them in, or they can get out if they ever want to get out. But something else that I do is then my running coaches. So I look at them to see who actually goes on the calls, who's actually producing volume in my back office, levels deep, not just my PS. And I have those coaches in a chat where I let them interact with each other. So it's not just me talking at them all the time with things, but just let their energies, you know, get that chat going.
I love that. Awesome. Julia has a question. Julia, you can unmute yourself, girlfriend.
Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I have a question, and I want to know if this has changed for you as your business has grown. When you are signing a new person up or working with somebody new, do you or when you started out, or even now as a mature coach, do you offer them the discount coaching, which I know we don't like to use the word discount coach anymore, as an option? Or did you, especially if this person is pretty much said, no, I just want to work on myself, and do you onboard them as just a customer versus a coach, or and maybe provide like, well, if you sign up as a coach, you can get the 25% off? I always, of course I try to screen the people that I'm working with and get a feel. And as a newer coach, I also know it's more advantageous as far as money is to, get that retail from customers versus just volume from coaches, especially if these coaches are not really doing much other than working on themselves. They're not really doing anything for the business. Does that question make sense?
I personally take it on a case-by-case basis. And in listening to them, when I form them and their story, if I think it would benefit them to be a coach, I'll mention it. If not, I'd rather see how they do in the challenge group. And then from there, I make sure that by the third week before their Shakeology is going to ship out again, I have that conversation with them. So I can't say that I'm consistent either way all the time. It really depends on that person for me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Same. I will say in the beginning, every single person I signed up was a discount coach. Hands down, there was no option about it. And I did have a lot of success with, I would hit 10 to 20 a month from the time I started, and every person was a discount coach. So if you're bringing on 5 to 10 coaches and they're all discount coaches, like that volume grew. And then, I learned how to strategize placement and all that kind of stuff. So I did start that way. And then you have the people who, I got, I think it was last year more when they changed the elite roles. And I was like, I got to get customer points now. I started signing up more customers. And I kind of, even though now with the elite roles this year, it doesn't matter, I kind of got to the point where I like starting them as a customer. So if somebody says to me, I want to save the money, or if they give me a price objection, I will share the discount right away. And I will let them know that this is how I started. And, whether you just get a discount because that's all I did at first, or you want to run with it, blah, 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 like that's fine. But what I found helpful is by getting them enrolled as a customer, just like Audrey was saying, like some people just aren't going to stick with it. They're not. They're going to buy one challenge pack. They're going to complain that it didn't work because they didn't actually use it. They're just not going to work. And I would rather, I can't stand an inactive coach in my downline. Like when I see an active, it like makes me mad. So I don't want somebody to be on there if they're not going to stick with it every month. So I will now, my general strategy now is to enroll them as a customer. And then I have this lovely Target calendar thing that's right by my desk. And every week I go through, I have a process when somebody orders, I write their name on. Once a week, I write them a thank you note for joining my team. I send them, or joining my group, I send them a packet Energize. I make a shout out to them in my challenge group. And then I write down 3 weeks later when their Shakeology is going to ship. And at that 3 week mark, I'll reach out. Are you good with your flavor? Have you, did you want to try something different? Are you interested in saving $15 next month or this month on next week's Shakeology shipment? So I ask them. Most people are going to say yes. Like, who's not interested in saving $15? So then I explain it to them and I tell them, I like to wait and make sure my customers are happy with their product, that they are going to stick with their challenge group. And if so, I'm going to give you this option because it's going to save you money down the road. It doesn't, your challenge, they didn't lose anything yet because it was still $160 month one. So you haven't lost anything. And then to be honest, most of the time they sign up with another challenge pack and I usually have them do a refresh. So then I don't have to mess with signing up, pay the fee and get the reimbursement. I talk about a refresh a lot in my challenge groups. So that's my strategy is I get them on like an all access to start. They're a customer. They liked it. And then month 2, I flip them to a discount coach. And then I will let them know that my next challenge group is starting on X date. If they have any friends or family that would benefit from what they've just experienced in this month, you can bring them along, and some people, they know what coaching is. They'll say like, I've considered coaching, or, they'll tell you that kind of stuff. So you can, kind of work that out. But that's my strategy now is a customer. And then I flip them. I reach out 3 weeks later. I work to flip them and I try to get it to be like a second challenge pack because it makes the enrollment much easier.
Okay. No, that's very helpful.
I love that. I mean, I agree. And Elite has changed. So if you guys are going for Elite, you really should sign some people up as challengers first and convert them. I like to do it earlier. I feel like they're in week 2. You are, over the soreness a lot of times, and you're kind of getting excited because you're seeing some results. So I start putting it in their minds. I might just, reach out to them behind the scenes and be like, girl, you are crushing it. You're showing up all the time. That type of thing. They definitely you can't have to be on your radar. You have to have a list of people every month that you have signed up from the month, but that type of thing. And then I will say, you totally should sign up as a coach with me. You don't have to actively coach if that's not something you want to do, but you would get a discount on next month's Shakeology. And then I say, and I'll tell you something, by the time you're done with this month, people are going to be asking you what you're doing, and you can make a little bit of income just by sharing your link, and they could join our group. And that's how I talk in a voice message. It's very, like that. If I think from the get-go, they would be like, maybe they've done a challenge group before with me, or they would be a good coach, I'd be like, girl, just sign up for the discount right off the bat. Because you love Shakeology, you've tried it in the past, or you've been with me, or, you're into fitness, whatever it is. Just sign up as a discount, and I honestly think it's easier to cancel your coach subscription than it is to cancel your Shakeology sometimes, especially online. I think definitely you should be going into it with being a challenger. But if people you think would be a good coach, definitely give them the choice and talk to them about it. It doesn't have to be so awkward. Just talk to them like you're talking to your best friend or sister or brother, whatever.
I think the voice thing is huge. It just makes it easier. And let's say you had 5 people that ordered at the same time. If you record a voice message and you just say, hey girl, that way you're not saying, hey Tara. And then you just forward that message. And then it's just everybody gets your voice. Everybody gets the same thing. And then they can just come back to you. But something I do is it's on my calendar on the 28th of the month is to go in my back office and print out my report that shows my SC points. Because then it shows a drill down of I'll go into my customers, where's my SC points, print out my customers because it has the date they ordered. So I use that and then it just lives on my desk is messy. It just lives on my desk. And then I'll use that as my okay, well, I've got to go to this person this week, and then this person, and this person. And it just helps me stay organized so that I'm letting them know. And I did that a lot with my 80-day obsession. My last month's challenge packs, I got probably half of them then to change to a coach this month. And then with 80-day obsession, I think you can really capitalize on it because hopefully they're using the performance line in Shakeology. So if they bought a challenge pack from you last month that had both, then they're only on HG Shakeology. So this month, if you get them to enroll with a completion pack, they can get the performance line, an extra set of containers for their husband or an extra shaker cup for someone else. And it makes that enrollment process really easy. That's been that's how I've strategized my 80-day obsession into this month.
Awesome. Anybody else have a question? And we'll get wrapped up in a few minutes because it's been an hour. We've been going. Let me go to my second page. I can't see. Somebody has a question. You can just unmute yourself. I might not see everybody. Michelle, go ahead, Michelle. You can unmute yourself. You see it? There you go. Yep.
Okay. Thank you so much for you all being here. I really appreciate you all taking the time out of your busy schedule. My question is simple. I just wanted to know, I know your story has evolved over time, and how have you changed it? Because I know that, or have you changed it because you have different people that follow you from the beginning to the end, and you don't want to be redundant with what you say. So how do you focus on what the amount of information you give out and how vulnerable you are, especially if you think back to when you were newer in the business and how you shared your information?
I think you should be redundant. I am redundant. I say a lot of the same thing. CPA mom turned stay-at-home mom turned full-time mompreneur. Like that is my thing, because somebody who sees it this week won't see it next, and someone who saw it a year ago will forget about it, or they saw it a year ago and they were like, probably not. Like, and then they see it now and they're like, okay, maybe yes. So like, I actually do think you need to be redundant, because your story is actually your story, and there's not a whole lot you can change about it. You can give more detail, less detail. You can give step by step. You can give year by year, month by month. I mean, you can talk about it so many different ways. Obviously, in the beginning, it's going to be a little bit more different than it is, 4 or 5 years into it. But I had a girl message me like Sunday, Monday night, and she was like, I've been following you for years, and I think I might finally be ready. She's a teacher, mom of 2. Like, she went through this whole thing. But I went back and looked. I sent her a hey girl message in like November of 2016, which she never responded to. I didn't even know I was friends with this girl, but she messaged me and said, I've been following you for years. So it may have taken her like 19 times to see that I went from this to this to this before she was like, okay, maybe yes, I want to do that. So I actually don't think that you need to change it. You just, like, I say a lot of the same things over and over again. Like, I did a post last night or the night before that was actually on my time hop, or on this day, and it was it was last night. What I wrote last night at like my evening post was a copy paste from a year ago, because it's all relevant. Nothing changed. It was good. So I used it again.
I do that all the time.
I did a lot, like, because like, years in, you can get great content. You have a post later coming at you. It's from last year.
Yeah, always repeat, because the only ones that really know we're telling the same story again is us. And we always have new followers, and our story is the reason that a lot of people follow us. And if they don't want to hear it, then they just unfollow us.
Yeah.
I think your story changes too. Think about so our story is crazy changing. Like it's provided, my husband's going to leave his job this year, and we're going to move our whole family to follow his calling for his life. Like, that's crazy. So I think it does change. It changes, coaching brings different things out of you at different seasons in your life too. So yes, your coaching story from when you started is the same, but how has coaching molded you into the person you are today? And that is, if people have been following you, they're going to follow that transition. But also, I remember someone saying when we launched to the UK, it's really, really important to go back and tell your first story over and over, because those people have no clue who you are, and a lot of your followers, again, have no clue who you are. They just started following you. So the only people that will be annoyed are your coaches, folks. I feel like the more you hear people's success, the more I believe. That's what I surrounded myself with in the beginning, just like we talked about in the beginning of this call. That's my advice, is just surround yourself with people that believe, with people that have had success, with people that are lifting you up and not tearing you down, because that in life, that's what's important. That's how you're going to grow into who you're meant to be.
And I'll just share with you guys, we did this in our team a while ago, but I take a notebook, real close, and you write down your blessings. That's what it says. My coaching has blessed me by. And I literally sat down and then this is content for posts, but it also makes you realize how amazing it really is. But that type of activity, and it's the first page in a notebook that, lives on my desk with everything else. But it's just something, I encourage you guys to do, because sometimes you're I don't know what to post, because all I keep saying is, I lost 3 pounds when I was trying to lose my baby weight. And what else can you say? Well, you can probably say a lot when you really sit down and think about what do you have now that you didn't have before because of this business, from the friendships to the community, when you're willing to spend an hour on a Thursday morning talking with a bunch of women who you don't know because it makes you happy and fills your cup, that's a post, and that's something that you can talk about with your story, because that's, someone else is going to be wow, what I would give to have a group of supportive women behind my back.
Mm-hmm.
That's something that could get somebody to be okay, I might need that. Maybe you don't need to lose weight, but you want that.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Girls, let's all take a quick picture, and then I have one more question. So everybody's going to be whoop, whoop. All right, everybody can take a picture, because you're all going to want to use it for your social media. So it'll be funny if everybody holding their phones up, right? All right, ready? 1, 2, 3. Woo woo! All right. I have a quick question, girls. Can you guys each share with us top 5 things that you'd say you must do every day to drive your business forward? Your top 5 tasks that you need to do every single day to move your business forward.
I'll start. Okay, first thing I do is I start conversations with 10 people every day. Normally it's on Instagram. It's just easy for me. You know, blessing them. Hey girl, I'm just thinking about you. Or hey girl, I love your feed. You provide so much light to, you know, your followers. Keep rocking it. Or hope you're having a great day. I don't even ask a question. I just want to provide that like love. That's it. And that builds trust. So that's the first thing. Second thing is never missed a day of posting. Never, no matter what. Like even on my worst of my worst times in this business, which I've had them, I never missed a day sharing how I was feeling, like just the real life and rawness of what I was going through in the valleys or whatever. So never miss a day. Oh my gosh. Checking into your challenge groups and all your groups. I never miss a day of that either. Else? Personal growth every day, all day long, in your ears. And no one else is going to have it. And the last thing, exactly what Megan said. Start every day, start my day with one thing I'm grateful for, whether it's this business or something else. When you start your day in gratitude, it does fill your cup. And that's how the rest of your day runs. Like, yeah, you might have crappy things in the day, but you're just starting out in that grateful attitude really brings joy to your life.
Yeah, there's a journal. It's called the 5-Minute Journal. As simple as that. Like, I don't even think there's an author. Like, it's from Amazon. My girlfriend sent it to me, but it's called the 5-Minute Journal. Mm-hmm. It is a 5-minute deal that will take you through just the gratitude. And you'll just talk, it's like, you know, what are you thankful for and what, you know, what went well today? What are you going to do tomorrow? Those type of things. I think the mindset goes a long way. So that's huge. So however you do it, maybe you journal it, maybe you write it in a thing, maybe you just think about it, you know, when you wake up in the morning, you know, so maybe you hit snooze and just think about it. Sometimes I do that. But I think I can't say a whole lot different than Tara. I too, since the day I've started, I've never, ever, ever missed a day of posting. It doesn't matter where I am or what's happening in my life. I've never missed a day. I have never, ever, ever not checked in with my challengers. And I actually tried to go to bed one night without doing it. I couldn't even do it. I got out of bed and did it like really late. I can't do it because there's people like, you know, invested with me for me to support them. And I can't not do that. And I think when you lead that way, your challengers will see that in you and they'll see your commitment and your dedication. I think that just sets the tone for who then will likely become your coaches, because those are the people who are already trusting with you in the first place. But my activities are very similar to hers. I wake up, I go through my Instagram stories. I pick at least 10 people and I message them. I saw you looking at my stories because most of them don't know that you can see them. I know we've never met before. Or I know we've never connected before. I say it's nice to meet you. Are you on a health and fitness journey too? Are you looking for, like, whatever you want to ask them, but I always do that. That's my simple, I will, like, I do that while I drink my Energize, send 10 of those out. Or, you know, maybe you didn't get to it in the morning, do that at night, but that happens without a doubt every day. Somebody asked me at this point in my business, do you still have to invite? I do. I invite a lot. I talk a lot. I look at myself as a professional friend maker, and I'm going to go out there and try to make somebody else smile or be happy or be grateful or make a decision to work out or make a decision to skip the donut. So I think that I'm not really answering your question of 5 things I do, but that's one of the things I do is messaging people and inviting my, you know, I work out, and if I don't work out, I post why I didn't. It's a rest day. I'll share that. Just the vitals. I don't have it something different. It's the vital behaviors that whether you're day 1 or day 3,000, you're still doing the same thing.
Yeah. I love that professional friend maker. That's awesome. Yeah. Same thing. I mean, for me, I am just so into leading by example, and I wake up early to make sure that, number one, I pray. I need to fill myself up with God. I do personal development right afterwards, and then I start my workout. And while I'm working out, I'm just really thinking about how is this workout helping me to overcome something mental or emotional that's going on in my life? And what can I say about this to help somebody else and add value through my social media? And then I really document everything on my story because I want people to see that I go through it, that it's early, but I'm up, that it's possible with my kids and everything that's going on. It's still possible for someone else to do the same thing. And then I check in with my challengers. I like to send one-on-one messages to coaches, to people that I call it flirting on social media. So to those people that follow me, that I've been going back and forth with, I go flirt with them for a little bit, and following up with the people that I've been having conversations with. And it's just every single day.
Yeah, that's the non-glorious stuff, but it's the stuff that moves your business forward. Absolutely. Excellent. And we just have one more quick question. It's from one of our UK coaches, Penny. How are you talking to UK, and are you using the same tactics as you would in the USA? We just had this conversation 2 days ago, me and Penny. I know Megan.
I mean, like I did have an ad, as far as like I had an ad on my like page that was like, I broadened the location to include the United Kingdom, but I don't actually talk any differently. Like I go about it all the same way. I might throw something up on my stories that would show a US flag, a Canadian flag, and a UK flag, but I have not, other than prior to the launch, yes, I tried to focus solely on the UK, and to be honest, it didn't really get me very far. I just treat it all the same now. Like I just talk to everybody all the same, and my posts are all the same, and I don't do anything differently.
Sorry. Hi, I'm Penny. More specifically, what I mean is, if you got people that were interested in a challenge group or maybe becoming a coach, they'd sort of shown you a sign that they were interested, do you then use the 5-step procedure, or do you change it up slightly for the UK? Because
I try to get on a Zoom call with them. I find getting on, I mean, obviously I can't phone call them, so I do Zoom. That's like, I just offer a Zoom. Like that's the first thing I'll do. If you don't want to get on the phone, then you're probably not going to be that dedicated as a coach. I think it's easier just to talk to somebody. I mean, but I do that UK or not. I try to just get on the phone and talk to them, whether it's about a challenge group or about, I feel like some things can be lost in translation. So I just think it's easier to just try to set up a Zoom call and get on and talk to them.
All right. Anybody else?
The same. I talk the same, but I know my UK coaches are like, you're a little loud and crazy for people in the UK, right? But it's like, that's who I am. And, you know, you either love it or hate it. I can't not be me. So yeah, Zoom calls, we've had a lot of Zoom calls. I don't focus just on the UK at all. I just am who I am. And, you know, I would probably walk them through. This is what I always say is so much easier to do this. And I tell my new coaches this too. You can make a video of Beachbody on Demand, or what I do a lot of times is I'll pop my computer open and take a video on my phone of like Beachbody on Demand. And I'll just be like, hey girl, this is what it's all about. See that you can go through these things. This is what we were talking about earlier, you know, so I'm saying their name, and it's a minute out of my day. And I'll send them that and say, this is the value that you're getting. Like, this is totally worth it, you know, like that. So I don't know, you know, and then I would say that coaching opportunity would come along with that after.
Thank you. Thank you. Just to add to that, one of the issues that we're having in the UK is that a lot of people are coming back saying it's very American.
Yeah.
So do you think it's a good idea that we convert American media into UK media ourselves to kind of get it across in an English way?
Yeah, because that's going to be branding you and what you have for sure. I think you could do that.
Okay.
Making it your own.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, guys, we're going to wrap up this call. This was amazing. Everybody give a little whoop whoop, because if you thought this was amazing, oh, hell, you guys are awesome. Now you can see why I love these ladies, right, guys? And why, like Tara said, it's so important to surround yourself with people who are successful and kind of get into their heads, see how they think, and just know that it's possible and that there are people killing it and that you absolutely are not different from any one of them. It's open to anybody. It's everybody's opportunity. And if we don't take advantage of this opportunity, like, we are missing the boat. So it's time to rock 2018. You guys are awesome. Thank you, girls. And if Megan, you want to send me that PDF you were talking about, you know I'm not going to forget that. I would appreciate it.
It's a Google form.
Oh, okay. Cool. All right, awesome. Thank you guys so much, and have a beautiful day. And I will get you all the recording to Tara, Audrey, Megan for your teams, and then I will post it on our team page for us. All right, have a great day. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.